Robyn, if you want to get your presentation up, I'll just give you a little brief intro. So Robyn's a New South Wales landholder involved in the STAR project, as mentioned. It's being run by Regen Farmers Mutual with funding from the New South Wales PIPAP, also carbon abatement program, and also support from South East Local Land Services. So the project aims to work with a collective of landholders through the Regen Farmers Mutual, which we have heard about before in the club. So some people might remember that we had the Southern Queensland Landscapes present on the Trap Rock program that they partnered with Regen Farmers Mutual on. And I actually heard Robyn talking about this project. I think it was in a meeting through the Environmental Markets Leadership Program that was run by LLS quite a while ago. And so I was chatting to her on the chat because I've been very keen to get a landholder perspective on I suppose what's happening in the carbon and environmental market space. So we're very lucky to have Robyn joining us today, and hopefully she'll give us some good insights into where she sees the benefits and the opportunities through this program to really, I suppose, participate in environmental restoration for markets. Robyn's also an honorary professor at ANU and a very distinguished and awarded veterinary research scientist. So she might have some other ideas about additional benefits that arise from natural capital improvements. So thanks so much for joining us, Robyn, and yeah, looking forward to hearing from you about the STAR project.
Thanks very much, Rachel, and hello to you all. I'm joining you via satellite, so if it's okay, I'm going to turn my video off while I'm speaking with you. And the other thing I should say is that I am representing the STAR group, and that's because the other members of the STAR group who are real farmers are all busy sharing, doing a range of things. And so I'm going to be representing them. But as Rachel says, I masquerade sometimes as an academic, sometimes as a farmer. So now you can all see my screen?
Looks good.
Lovely. Okay, so it's really a privilege to be able to speak with you today and to represent the Southern Tablelands Agricultural Restoration Project. I'll do my best to do justice to it. As Rachel mentioned, this is a project that really is that originates with Regen Farmers Mutual, and it's very hopefully you've all heard of Regen Farmers. If not, they're a farmer-owned, a broker, fund, advisor, and collaboration and data platform. By being aligned with farmers who are regenerating their land, the mutual makes an impact globally while also promoting farmer interests. Their underlying principle is that when farmers work together to look after the land, it helps to reduce the impact of climate change and drought and protects the future of farming in Australia. And they love to say that they believe that when you look after the land looks after you. This particular project is part of their landscape impact program. It's a co-design process that normally runs over around 20 weeks, and it helps groups of farmers and a nominated working team to define, test, iterate and launch a landscape scale transaction in their local area. So it has a range of activities that runs over bringing the team together, looking at what might be possible, and then once the group agrees on what they think a key activity should be, Regen Mutual then helps to bring that idea in front of investors. And so wherever possible, face-to-face meetings are then held with potential investors to see who might be interested in buying what the project has to offer. As Rachel mentioned, this is funded by the New South Wales Government Primary Industry Productivity and Abatement Program. It's part of their High Impact Partnerships program, and it's in our area being implemented in collaboration with Southeast Local Land Services. And I'd really like to give a shout out to Melissa Henry, who's been a fabulous support to the project. She can't join today because she's off talking coloured sheep at a conference in New Zealand. So the aim is to help farmers and land managers define landscape scale environmental transactions in their area. The Southern Tablelands Agricultural Restoration Project, from here on known as the STAR Project, it's been guided by a small farmer-led working group, of which I was a pilot member, and it's drawn from people that the LLS primarily identified as those who have a keen interest in land management, in and improving the health of their land. The objective of the STAR project is to discover what we can do individually and collectively to improve both farm productivity and biodiversity, and by so doing to be financially rewarded. The STAR project is based in the Southern Tablelands. It's a highly productive agricultural landscape that's known predominantly for merinos, prime lambs, beef cattle, with a little bit of cropping. The dominant vegetation community of this area is the box gum grassy woodland, and that's listed as a critically endangered ecologically community. It's home to around 98 fauna and 106 flora that are listed as vulnerable or threatened. Those of us who are involved aim to balance farm productivity, profitability, and landscape resilience in a changing climate. The landscape where we live and farm is our greatest asset. Natural assets across the region have been significantly depleted over time, leading to erosion, salinity, reduction of soil organic carbon levels, a loss of connectivity, and significant loss of diversity of native flora and fauna. And I should indicate that I was born and raised in this area. In my farmer's generation, it was government policy to clear trees. So this is not just an issue about poor farming practice. It's about governments of the day not understanding the biological systems where they were operating. So our working group considered opportunities for landholders, both individually and collectively, to address these issues through participation in a carbon and or biodiversity markets, to improve the natural assets on our properties and farm productivity, and to potentially be financially rewarded for these environmental services. As you all know, environmental stewardship and sustainability are really important for farm businesses, for consumers, for supply chains, and for governments. Farmers and landholders are definitely part of the solution, and we believe that through understanding our landscape and our emissions footprint, we can make interventions that improve overall farm sustainability, productivity, and profitability, and hopefully be rewarded for it through supply chain market access, premiums, and possibly additional income from environmental markets. This STAR project is being managed by farmers for farmers. The aim is to capture and store carbon to offset emissions and establish connected landscape corridors across the Southern Tablelands that will restore biodiversity and ensure the survival of endangered species. The project is about enhancing farm productivity, sustainability, and environmental stewardship by connecting like-minded farmers with financially rewarding environmental restoration solutions through capturing and storing carbon on farm and increasing biodiversity. Over the 20 weeks of discussions, the working group came up with a theory of change, and that vision you can see here. It's looking at where we are now, where we were at the start of the project, which was a group of individual farmers, and then we had a visioning exercise to see where we wanted to be in 3 years' time and in 20 years' time. So you can see really we're aiming to have a relatively rapid growth, bringing more farmers on board, getting some of those projects up and running, and giving some landholders access to biodiversity credits, but also sharing information beyond those people who sign up for these environmental markets programs. You can see our little tagline there at the bottom of this slide, the Connect, Restore, Protect and Reward. In relation to Connect, we're talking about connecting with community of like-minded farmers and landholders, and this is a critical part of the process. We are also connected with Regen Farmers Mutual, who provide us with really important insights into our on-farm enterprise emissions and funding and support for selling carbon assets. And we really aim to build connectivity in the landscape for greater impact and for improved biodiversity and species survival. In terms of restore, I'm sure you all know that in the 21st century, simply caring and maintaining isn't enough. We do need to look at restoration and regeneration if we're going to turn around the negative trends. So our aim is to re-establish or increase box gum grassy woodlands. We want to be able to restore damaged and degraded areas of erosion, salinity, and biodiversity loss through native planting projects. We aim to restore gullies, creeks, dams and landscape habitat to build biodiversity where species can thrive. We want to restore soil quality to support productive plant growth with deep roots that sequester carbon, hold moisture and significantly reduce erosion. Our ultimate goal is to build resilient landscape, and we recognise that restoration is required to maintain a highly productive and profitable landscape. Sorry, I'm just hearing some noise there. Is there a problem with my sound?
You're okay, Robyn. Your sound is a tiny bit in and out, but I reckon I've caught at least 95% of it. But somebody else had just briefly unmuted. That's why there was a bit of background there.
Okay.
You're right. Please proceed.
Okay. Anyway, let's move on to protect. So we're aiming to protect our vulnerable woodlands, our shrubs, grasses, waterways, and the unique species through farm infrastructure planning, strategic grazing, and effective management of pests and weeds. This is really important because we understand that biodiversity is a key component of natural capital and is vital to any farming system. Without this variety, ecological systems such as water filtration and nutrient cycling can't function optimally. So in terms of reward, this is really a crucial area. What I've seen in our area is that the number of family farms is diminishing significantly. Family farmers have an intimate connection with their land. They're very proud of their land management. They're very proud of their product. But because farm gate prices are increasingly challenging with price volatility and not always equitable marketing systems, the number of family farmers are significantly declining. So looking at ways for those who manage their landscapes well to receive some financial benefit is quite significant. So we believe that good landscape stewards should be rewarded, and we aim to achieve coordinated and aggregated projects that deliver real impacts for a connected community and landscape, delivering a resilient and biodiverse environment with thriving threatened species, where farmers are landscape managers who are delivering real solutions for the health of the planet by sequestering carbon and enhancing natural capital on the farm. As I mentioned, diversifying farm income and managing business risks through additional income streams such as carbon and biodiversity projects are crucial components of sustainable agriculture in our world today, particularly when we think about globally. Most high-income countries have a subsidised agriculture. We don't have that in Australia, and it really reduces farmers' margins to be able to invest in their land as well as care for their households. So a resilient and productive landscape means that sustainable, productive and profitable farm businesses delivering quality food and fibre will support a better future for our farm, our families, our community and our planet. So if you'd like additional information on the STAR project, you can use the QR code there that will take you to a brochure on the project. There's also a hyperlink there that will take you to a lovely video on YouTube. To recap, the initiative really enables landholders in the Southern Tablelands to have an opportunity to be financially rewarded for their environmental stewardship and landscape management. It provides farmers and land managers in the program with mentoring and financial support. Those who are participating have the options of looking at a soil carbon project where they may be able to gain ACCUs that they can either use for their own enterprise or can be sold into the market. They may be looking at environmental plantings projects or biodiversity market opportunities through groups such as the Biodiversity Conservation Trust. In short, the project connects landscapes and people, restores box gum grassy woodlands, protects that woodland, those landscapes through biodiversity markets, and hopefully rewards regenerative farmers and producers financially. The group and Regen Farmers Mutual really believes that farmers are part of the solution, providing, and these are my words, I've added this in, and that I think farmers are part of the solution, but that can only happen providing that there is a facilitating, predictable and equitable policy environment. Farmers can aim to restore the Southern Tablelands through restorative environmental stewardship activities on farm and productive agriculture. And this is certainly key to the future of sustainable farming. And it is possible at scale on that condition that the public and private sector policy environments align equitably. And by speaking with you today, we hope that we're going to gain your support in designing and implementing policies that deliver, especially for the remaining family farmers in our area and those farmers who deliver policies that operate in synergy with wider government policies, covering issues such as water catchments and the promotion of locally produced, sustainable, safe and nutritious food within sustainable and circular bioeconomies. We know as a species, as a planet, we're facing multiple threats. We really need to have policy approaches that take a multi-hazard approach and see these threads of regeneration, of being climate smart. All of these need to run through our policies, environments, and line up, stack in a way that's going to deliver for those who have a role to play. And just talking in relation to food, there's some really nice research coming out of the United States showing that plants and animals raised on land that's managed regeneratively produces food with an improved nutrient density and nutrient profile. These are things that we should be considering, making sure that our human health colleagues are aware also and are able to make recommendations, and their recommendations about sustainable diets for Australians that link with those who are managing their land sustainably. So I'll stop there. Thank you very much for your time. And if you have any questions or comments, I hope we have a few minutes and I will endeavour to answer them.
Great. Thanks so much, Robyn.